This week's presentation is about the roles of pronouns and prepositions in a sentence. When can I use a pronoun? You can only use a pronoun after you've already mentioned its antecedent, or what the pronoun is standing in for. Antecedent means what the pronoun is standing in for. He walked into it holding it under his arm. She saw it from far away and completed it by herself. That doesn't make any sense because you don't know who he is, what it is, where it is, what it is, who she is, and what she saw. You also don't know what she did. So all of these pronouns become very confusing if you haven't already told us what the pronoun is standing in for. Because remember, pronouns stand in the place for nouns. So you have to tell us what the noun is before you can use a pronoun. Betty ate all of her carrots. The club spent all of its money. So Betty ate all of her pronoun, carrots. So we know that her stands for Betty. We also know that it stands for the club. So because it's telling us before what the pronoun is standing in for, those pronouns are used correctly. There are actually several different types of pronouns, and we're going to talk about what those are. Indefinite pronouns are the only pronouns that do not require an antecedent. Remember, an antecedent is a noun before it that tells what the pronoun is standing in for. Indefinite pronouns are things like someone, anything, nobody, and nothing. You don't have to tell us what nothing is representing because it's not representing anything. It's nothing. It is a pronoun standing in for the absence of something, but you don't have to tell us beforehand what nothing is standing for. Subject pronouns are pronouns that replace the subject of a sentence, or the person, place, or thing that is doing the action. He did the job, so he is the one doing the action. So he is a subject pronoun. The subject pronouns are I, you, he or she, we, and they. Object pronouns act as the object of a sentence. It receives the action of the verb. The objective pronouns are her, him, it, me, them, us, and you. Tommy threw it at him. It and him are objective pronouns. It is receiving the action of the throwing. So Tommy is throwing it at him. He, him, is receiving it. So these two are objective pronouns. Possessive pronouns show who owns something. So just like a couple weeks ago, when we added apostrophe s to show possession to a noun, possessive pronouns are special words that show who owns something. These are hers, his, its, mine, ours, theirs, and yours. Notice, on its, there is no apostrophe. Its with an apostrophe is a contraction for it is. The red basket is mine, showing that I own the red basket. Yours is on the coffee table, telling us that you own something. Now, here's a trick. Who and whom are pronouns, typically used in questions. And a lot of students get confused when to use who or whom. So, who is a subject pronoun. So it's only used when it is the subject of a sentence. Who took my book? Because who is doing the action, taking the book, we use who as subject pronoun. Sometimes it helps to answer the question. He took it. Who took my book? He took it. Because he is a subject pronoun, we know to use who. Whom is an object pronoun. With whom are you going? Once again, it's easier if you answer the question. I am going with him. Him is an object pronoun, so we would use whom. This is easier to remember because they both have the M in them. So, many writers confuse when to use the phrase blank and I or blank and me. It is incorrect to say, me and my friends played hockey. And I know that sounds right, but there's something wrong with it based on the type of pronoun you're using. Who is playing hockey? Me and my friends are. So if they are doing the action, playing hockey, then we need to use subject pronouns. If you check your list, me is not a subject pronoun. I is a subject and me is an object. My friends and I played roller hockey. We have to use I because I is playing roller hockey. It is doing the action, so we use the subject pronoun. If you're ever unsure of which one to use, take out the word stated with me or I and just leave me or I by itself. So instead of me and my friends played roller hockey, take out and my friends. Would you say me played roller hockey? No, you wouldn't say me played roller hockey. So you would say I played roller hockey. Prepositions are words that indicate location. Let's hold on a sec. The same thing works when you're using me or I. So if I said, we need another example, don't we? If I said, Johnny threw the fishing net at Taylor and I, you wouldn't say Johnny threw the fishing net at I, you would say at me. So we know to use me in that situation. Sorry for the pause there. Sometimes it's hard to re-record over mistakes. Moving on to prepositions. Prepositions are words that indicate location. Think of it as anywhere a mouse could go. The mouse could go in the trash can, around the corner, beside the washer. Prepositions can also show location in time. At midnight, in the spring, or during the marathon. At, in, and during are all prepositions. Prepositions generally introduce prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases have a preposition plus an optional modifier or some extra words, and then a noun, pronoun, or gerund. Gerund is an ing word that is used as a noun. So it could be like playing. So at is a preposition, and we add school, which is a noun. That would be a prepositional phrase. In is a preposition. Jane's is a modifier. Backpack. Jane tells us whose backpack it is. So Jane's is acting as an adjective. So in Jane's backpack is a prepositional phrase. Sometimes it gets confusing about whether a word is an adverb or a preposition, because some words can function both as adverbs and prepositions based on how it appears in a sentence. I looked outside. In that sentence, outside is an adverb because it tells where you looked. However, the dog sat outside the gate. Outside is a preposition because outside the gate is a prepositional phrase. The bus left me behind. In this case, behind is an adverb because it says where the bus left me. But if I ran behind the couch, behind is a preposition because it introduces a prepositional phrase. Vocabulary words for this week. The first one is evaluate, to examine and judge something based on its quality, importance, or extent. At the end of the year, you will be evaluated based on your effort and learning. Fascinate, to attract and hold attention. I was fascinated by the interesting butterflies. Monotonous, to be of one tone, to be all the same. This could both describe someone's voice, monotonous, being all the same tone the whole time, never changing, no voice inflections whatsoever. Could also be used more generally, talking about different things you may do. The work was very monotonous and boring because it never changed. An abundance means that you have plenty of something, or more than is needed. We had an abundance of hamburgers at the party, meaning that we had plenty of hamburgers. We didn't need any more. Papyrus is a plant that was once used to make paper. Ancient Egyptians collected the papyrus reeds to make scrolls. This is the end of today's note session. Please write your 20-word summary. Make sure you have labeled today's notes with Quarter 1, Week 5, today's date, and today's essential question. Then place today's notes inside the prongs of your grammar folder behind all previous sets of notes. Bring these notes with you to class on Monday to practice with.